Christmas has always been a time of joy and family warmth, but for Celia, Christmas only brought painful memories. After the loss of her parents, she became accustomed to spending Christmas Eve alone, away from celebrations and love. But this year, something different was about to happen. While volunteering at a charity event, Celia never imagined that this Christmas could change her life. It was when she met Elias, a mysterious man with a deep gaze and a soul marked by secrets. Under the magic of the Christmas lights, fate brought them together in a way she never expected. With the cold of winter, the glow of the Christmas tree, and the promise of new beginnings, an unlikely romance begins to emerge. But can love blossom in the heart of someone who has already lost so much? And more importantly, can Elias' secret destroy the chance for a new relationship? Get ready for a story of love, mystery, and the discovery that the true meaning of Christmas may be found where we least expect it. What begins as a casual meeting under the Christmas tree will become an unexpected path to hope and true love. Celia Harper always looked at Christmas a little differently than others. Since her parents passed away 3 years ago, the holiday season became a difficult time to bear. The illuminated streets, Christmas music, and the large decorated trees became constant reminders of everything she had lost. The laughter of children, family gatherings, and memories of happy times faded, giving way to a solitude that lingered through every December. For her, Christmas had become just another day on the calendar. This year, however, something felt different. Celia felt a gentle impulse to break her routine, to do something to break her loneliness and perhaps reclaim some of the traditions she once loved. After talking to a friend, she decided to volunteer at Woodbridge's annual charity event, the small town where she lived. It was the perfect opportunity to try to find some meaning in the festivities, even if it was in a setting of giving and helping, far from the large celebrations. The day was cold, with a light dusting of snow covering the streets. The central square was filled with twinkling lights, creating a magical scene. The large Christmas tree, adorned with hundreds of colorful lights and shiny ornaments, stood tall in the center, illuminating the surrounding area. People passed by happily, talking and sharing laughs, but Celia felt as though she were in another world, watching it all from the outside. She was organizing toys to be distributed to the city's underprivileged children. Amid the movement, her eyes fixated on a man approaching the square. He was tall, wearing a dark coat with a hood up, seemingly protecting himself from the biting wind. The first thing she noticed was the serene expression on his face, almost distant, as if he didn't belong there. Something about his posture caught Celia's attention, a feeling she couldn't explain. The man with an enigmatic aura walked toward the Christmas tree. Without saying a word, he began helping with the decorations, adjusting the lights and ornaments with a quiet precision. When he looked up, his eyes met Celia's. A brief glance, but enough for a shiver to run down her spine. There was something about him that made her feel strangely drawn to him, but also uncomfortable, as if he carried an invisible weight. When he approached to help with the work, Celia felt her voice falter for a moment. "You here to help?" she asked, trying to mask her surprise. "Yes, I'm here to lend a hand," he replied in a deep, soft voice, as if it had been a long time since he communicated with someone. "Have you done this before?" Celia asked, curious, while observing his focused posture. "No, but I'm good with details," he said with a shy smile, as if trying to shake off an uncomfortable thought. "My name is Elias Weston." "I'm Celia." "You can call me Celia," she replied, feeling a slight tension in her words. Something in the way he introduced himself seemed to hide more than he was willing to reveal. Elias didn't say anything more about himself, and Celia didn't dare to ask. She didn't know why, but something in his nature told her he preferred to remain anonymous. What mattered was that he was there, helping without making a fuss, and that made her admire his silent attitude even more. Even at a charity event where people were bustling around, Elias seemed to be the only one she could trust with her attention at that moment. But at the same time, he was distant, like a shadow. Christmas Eve was approaching, and the Woodbridge Square was more illuminated than ever. Celia continued her work, organizing the donations, but her attention kept drifting toward Elias, who seemed to be present in every part of the event, helping set up the food, distribute the toys, and take care of the details. But he didn't seem to blend in with the other volunteers. He was there, but also not there, as if his presence was more of an obligation than a true choice. However, Celia felt that, on some level, he was just as lost as she was in this festive setting. They encountered each other again while Celia was arranging some tables. Elias was placing the chairs in position, his focus silent. When he finished, he looked at her, as if wanting to say something, but hesitated. Celia, feeling the weight of that silence, decided to start the conversation. "Elias, are you always here? I mean, do you always help with these things?" Elias shrugged, his calm gaze almost unsettling. "It's my first time. Christmas has never really been something I liked much. But this year, I decided to try something different. Help." Celia didn't know what to say. Something in his words gave her the impression that he was hiding more than just the fact that he was new to the town. But she didn't want to be intrusive. I'm not much of a fan of big parties either. I think this year will be quieter for me," she said, trying to keep the conversation flowing. Elias looked at her with a soft expression, perhaps sensing the sadness behind her words. "I understand," he replied, his voice gentler now. "Sometimes, loneliness is what makes us stronger." That phrase, said so quietly, made Celia stop for a moment. She watched him, trying to understand more of his words. But what intrigued her the most was that, despite his reserved nature, Elias seemed to understand the emptiness she felt inside. She took a deep breath and looked at him with a subtle smile. Maybe Christmas is more about finding something new in ourselves, rather than trying to revive what we've already lost. Elias stared at her for a long moment, as if pondering her words. Finally, he nodded slowly, a slight smile appearing on his face. "Maybe that's what I'm trying to find. Something new." Celia didn't know if he was referring to Christmas, to her, or to whatever else he might be hiding, but at that moment, something shifted. She felt that behind his cold and distant exterior, Elias carried an entire world of emotions and secrets. And that made her want to know more. Snow was falling softly over Woodbridge, creating a thick white layer that transformed the town into a fairy tale setting. The large Christmas tree in the square was now fully lit, its light sparkling like stars in the dark of night. The atmosphere was magical, but Celia couldn't escape a feeling of emptiness that still lingered, even amidst the festivities. She found herself constantly watching Elias. He seemed to always be in motion, helping with everything from setting the dinner table to making sure the toys were well organized. His gestures were gentle but precise, and his presence, though silent, seemed to fill the space. It was as if he was part of the scenery, yet at the same time a shadow that kept its distance from everyone. In the days that followed, Celia began noticing small moments that made her think more about him. When he looked at her, his eyes seemed to have a sad glow, as if he were lost in his own memories. The way he helped the children with their Christmas activities, or the way he would quickly retreat to a corner, never engaging in long conversations, sparked a desire to know more. She wondered if he carried the same pain she did, the pain of loss. One afternoon, as she organized more gift boxes, Elias approached, and once again, his soft voice broke the silence. "You don't seem too excited about all this hustle, Celia." She looked up, meeting his attentive gaze. "I don't know, Elias. I tried, but Christmas has never been the same. Since my parents died, all of this feels a bit empty. I try to distract myself, help others, but there are days when it feels like nothing makes sense." Elias looked at her with a deep gaze. He knew exactly what she meant. There was a pain in her eyes that he recognized well. I understand. Christmas. It's not what it used to be for me either, he said with a sigh. But maybe it's the chance for us to find something new, a new meaning, even if it takes time. Silence fell between them, but this time, it wasn't uncomfortable. It was as if, for a brief moment, they shared a silent understanding. The exchange of words left Celia with a feeling of connection, something she hadn't felt in a long time. As Christmas Eve drew near, the charity event in Woodbridge was in full swing. Celia dedicated herself to organizing the last round of gifts and preparing the venue for the grand meal, but with every glance at Elias, she felt that something was missing. There was something about him she couldn't fully understand. On Christmas Eve, when most people had already left, Celia remained alone in the square, tidying up the last things. It was then that Elias appeared in the distance, walking slowly toward her. His gaze was distant, as usual, but today it seemed heavier. As if he was about to say something important. Elias, Celia began, her voice soft but filled with curiosity. There's something you're hiding, isn't there? Elias looked at her for a long moment, the cold of the night reflecting in the expression on his face. He seemed to hesitate, as if struggling with himself. Then he took a step forward, as if he had finally decided to speak. I'm not very good at talking about this, Celia. But you're right. I am hiding something. He paused, seeming to lose his words. I lost someone very important to me, many years ago, in a tragedy that happened right on Christmas. Since then, I haven't been able to celebrate the holiday the way I used to. Celia felt a wave of empathy wash over her. She knew what he meant. The pain of losing someone you loved was something they both knew well, albeit in different ways. But hearing Elias' words stirred something inside her. His pain seemed like a shadow that haunted him, and she wanted to be part of his healing. I'm so sorry, Elias. I understand more than you can imagine, she said with a sad smile. I've also lost people I loved, and Christmas has never been the same for me. But maybe together, we can find a way to start over, in some way. Elias looked at her with an intense expression, as if he had finally found someone who understood his pain. I don't know if I'm ready for that, Celia. But maybe for you I can try. That brief moment of vulnerability between them created a new connection, something stronger than words could express. They were beginning to understand that, despite their scars, perhaps love was the key to healing the wounds of the past. Christmas finally arrived, and the town of Woodbridge was filled with celebrations. The streets were covered with a thick layer of snow, and the lights from the large Christmas tree illuminated the central square. Families gathered for the parties, and children ran happily through the streets, but Celia felt a little distant from it all. She had grown accustomed to the loneliness and the joyless celebrations, and even the glow of the lights seemed to have lost its effect. Elias, on the other hand, seemed more at ease in recent weeks. He was becoming increasingly present at the charity event, helping with the donations and organizing everything with a calmness that attracted her. Celia noticed that he was more open, but something in his behavior still made her feel that he was pulling away from something, or someone. On the afternoon of December 25th, when most people had already gone home, Celia stayed a little longer in the square, deciding to organize the remaining decorations. Elias approached, as if he had finally decided to join her for this last detail. Are you okay? Elias asked, breaking the silence. You seem distant. Celia looked at him and, for the first time, wasn't afraid to be honest. I was just thinking. How Christmas, for me, is a reminder of everything I've lost. But also, maybe it's an opportunity for something new. Something I didn't expect, but seems to be happening. Elias smiled slightly, his gaze gentle. I understand what you mean, For me, Christmas has always been painful, but you're right. Maybe it's time to try seeing the holiday in a new light. They remained silent for a moment, with only the soft sound of snow falling around them. Then, Elias moved a little closer, as if summoning the courage for something he had been hesitant to do. I don't want to hide who I am anymore, Celia. I'm not running from the pain anymore, and maybe I can allow myself to feel again. Celia looked at him, feeling her heart race. She knew that Elias' past was part of him, but she believed that love and hope could be the tools to help him move forward. I want you to know that, regardless of what happened in the past, what we're creating here could be something new. A new beginning for both of us. Elias looked into her eyes, as if surrendering to those words. He gently took her hand. Maybe that's what I need the most right now, Celia. As the night approached, the square was illuminated by the lights of the Christmas tree. The cold winter air made the surroundings even cozier, and the last echoes of children's laughter faded as people began to leave. Celia and Elias were alone in the square, with the gentle breeze and the stars shining above. It felt as though time had stopped for a moment, as if the world around them had disappeared. Celia felt a mixture of emotions. The connection she felt with Elias had intensified over the past few days. It was as if they were building something together, something genuine, even though the time had been so short. But what touched her most was the sincerity with which he opened up, the way he was starting to let his walls fall down. I didn't think this was possible, Celia said, looking at him with a shy smile. That Christmas could be so different. That I could feel something new. Elias watched her with a deep look. I never imagined I'd be here in this moment, with someone like you, Celia. You have something special. And as much as I try to resist, I feel that. I want this to be real. Without more words, Elias leaned slightly forward, and Celia, without hesitation, closed her eyes. When their lips touched, it felt as though the world around them disappeared. The kiss was gentle and full of silent promises, the beginning of something they both didn't know how to describe but felt with all their hearts. When they pulled away, they were still speechless, but Elias' eyes were filled with an intensity she had never seen before. Celia, he murmured, I don't know how to explain, but this is real to me. Celia smiled softly, her heart racing. I feel it too, Elias. I didn't know Christmas could be so magical. With Christmas night still alive in their memories, Celia woke up the next day with a feeling of lightness, but also uncertainty. The kiss she shared with Elias made her feel that something genuine was beginning between them. However, there were still many unresolved questions, especially about Elias' past. Although he had opened up a little, something still didn't seem complete. She felt that something was being hidden, and the doubt about what exactly he was avoiding became harder to ignore. She couldn't just let it go, not after becoming so involved. What had happened to Elias? He seemed to be living in constant flight from something, as if there was a great shadow looming over him. And Celia, who had already allowed herself to feel a connection with him, needed the truth, or at least an answer. Celia decided that she needed to confront Elias, to understand what he was hiding. She found him in the central square of Woodbridge, near the large Christmas tree. He was standing there, looking at the lights, lost in thought. She approached him, feeling a mixture of courage and apprehension. Elias, she began, her voice firm but soft, I need to know more about what you've been hiding. You can't keep running, not after everything we've shared. You owe me an explanation. Elias slowly turned, his gaze deep and dark. For a moment, he seemed to be making the decision to reveal everything. I know I can't hide forever, Celia, he said with a sigh. But I'm afraid. Afraid of what might happen if I tell you everything. Celia took a step forward. I've already gotten involved, Elias. I'm not backing down. I need to know what happened. I need to know the truth. He looked at her, the weight of his words visible in his eyes. For a moment, it seemed like he would hesitate again, but then finally he spoke. I lost someone very important to me. The person I loved died in an accident on Christmas years ago. I couldn't deal with it. Since then, Christmas reminds me of the pain and the emptiness she left. I'm afraid to open up again, to love someone else, and make the same thing happen. But you make me believe that maybe it's possible. Celia fell silent for a moment, absorbing Elias' words. She understood his pain, she knew what it was like to lose someone dear, but at the same time, she felt that he was limiting himself. He was trapped in the past, and that was preventing him from living in the present. Elias, she said with a look full of understanding, you can't keep living with this fear. The pain won't go away if you keep hiding. Maybe love isn't the cure for everything, but it can help us find the strength to move on. I can't promise it will be easy, but you don't have to do this alone. After the confrontation, Celia and Elias spent some time apart, each reflecting on the conversation they had shared. The truth was finally revealed, but it wasn't the end of the story, and Celia knew that from now on, they would need to allow themselves to move forward, somehow. Elias felt a whirlwind of emotions inside him. He had always been afraid to face what had happened in the past, fearing that by opening up to love again, he could lose himself. But something in Celia, in her calm and welcoming presence, made him believe that maybe there was a way to start over. The next morning, Elias met Celia in the square where they had spoken, a place that now held new meaning for both of them. He looked at her with a lighter, almost hopeful expression. I've thought a lot about what you said. And you're right. I can't keep running. Celia smiled gently, her words still resonating in her mind. You're not alone, Elias. You don't have to carry all this weight by yourself. We're in this together. Elias moved closer to Celia, his eyes filled with gratitude and new hope. I don't know what the future holds for us, but I'm willing to try. I'll try, at least, to give us both a chance. They gazed into each other's eyes, and without another word, they embraced warmly, as if allowing themselves to love again was the answer to all the uncertainties they both carried. Christmas Eve finally arrived, and Woodbridge was illuminated by the grand Christmas tree, its twinkling lights reflecting on the white mantle of snow. Celia and Elias were together again, stronger and closer, with the weight of the past finally beginning to dissipate. It wasn't a perfect love, but it was real and genuine, something they were both willing to build. Celia watched the lights of the tree, a peaceful smile on her lips. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with Elias by her side, she felt that she had found a new meaning for Christmas. He, on the other hand, looked at her with a shy smile, knowing that the pain of the past would still follow him, but that he had finally found the courage to move forward. That night, as families gathered to celebrate, they walked together through the square, hand in hand, under the Christmas tree. They had overcome the ghosts of the past and were now ready to face a future together, with the promise that love could heal the wounds of the heart, if they were both willing to give it a chance. Christmas will never be the same, Elias, Celia said, smiling softly. But maybe that's for the best. A new beginning, for us. Elias smiled, feeling the warmth of love finally blossoming in his heart. Yes, Celia. A new beginning. And with that thought, under the illuminated Christmas tree, Celia and Elias took the first steps toward what would be a future full of hope and love. And so, under the twinkling lights of the Christmas tree, Celia and Elias discovered that, sometimes, the deepest love is born in the most unexpected moments. Christmas, which once was a reminder of pain for Celia, now became the symbol of a new beginning, of hope and renewal. For Elias, what seemed like a risky restart turned into an opportunity to rewrite his own story, with someone by his side who truly understood him. They learned that, in the end, Christmas is not just about parties or gifts. It's about allowing yourself to live love, even when the past still haunts us. Elias' secret was not the end of everything, but just the beginning of something stronger, truer, and filled with hope. Now they walk together into a new chapter, where love can blossom where it seemed impossible. And who knows, you may also be about to discover that, under the magic of Christmas, there is always a chance to start over and let love in again. If you were moved by this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Spread this message of hope and new love with your friends. And of course, subscribe to our channel for more touching stories, full of romance, Christmas magic, and unexpected new beginnings. Don't miss the upcoming videos. The best is yet to come.